All right. All right. I'm going to do a quick update here. As I said, I was going to be doing a running kind of video journal on my research on the 19. So this is not financial advice. You can pick any asset that you like. You can, adjust the metrics, and some of these indicators or use whatever indicators you um, think are best for you. This is just a running journal, as I stated, right? About my own personal method that I kind of designed and how it performed so that we can see in real time how it, holds up, right? So if anyone ever has any questions, they can kind of go back and see how it is performed over time, and I'll keep updating it, hopefully at least once a week, and if I have the opportunity, more. Um, so yeah, if any of you have seen me on Twitter or other places, this is basically an overview of my 19 trading method. I call it 19 because essentially it all revolves around the 19 exponential moving average. But it's a modification of just basically trend trading, right? So trend trading is something that has been around a long time, and basically you just have to be able to identify the trends and then make the appropriate moves off of them. So in my scenario, I have identified the 19 as a best case scenario to find the point at which the assets trend turns. And so, as we could kind of see here, as it broke down the 19, we had an obvious downtrend because it didn't even retest the 19. And these are the type of moves that we're looking for because we can acquire more of the asset without having to add additional money, right? So these are very advantageous moves when it goes down. You do have from time to time, at least on this daily chart, some small little trend turns, right? So you came in here, and this is a daily chart, right? So you came in here, then one, two, within 3 days, right? You lost it again, but you were able to pick up more asset, and then within days, right, the trend turned again. We had a small trend here, and then the trend turned again. So on the daily chart, as you can see, you get multiple trades. That was one, two, we'll just say three. That was three trades because you actually entered here. You never broke down past it. Three, four, five. So you had a total of five trades going back to, we'll just say from the breakdown. You have five trades since June 8th, right? Um, but these are good, right? Because you get your early entries in case this trend is turning long term, right? So it's not a bad thing catching these, on a daily chart, although weekly charts will give you less trades. So it all just comes down to what what your preference is, right? But we had our last entry here, and this is the Bitcoin chart, of course. So we're looking good. And if we zoom in a little bit, we can see exactly how price is responding to these moving averages. It's not just kind of arbitrary candle patterns and other things that people kind of try to identify. But we see here this actual successive EMA became our resistance in this area. It broke down. Interesting thing as well is why I have the other indicators up, was we can see how the 9 actually tried to come down, cross, but didn't cross, and started to come back up, right? So that was a quick indication that this was going to reverse. Otherwise, this 9 would have crossed and we would have continued momentum down. The 3 did cross if you're looking on that white line, but it V'd out very quick. So again, you got a V and a cross, right? So you got another signal that this momentum was getting ready to change. So here we still have the 3 above the 9. So the momentum is still positive at this time. The only thing we're trying to fight through is this resistance that has kind of come in ever since we did the breakout back here, right? So this is our area, that we're working on right now, getting past this resistance, and then we'll take on each one of these successive resistances as we go up. So that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Another interesting thing that you may be able to notice when you got these visuals up is, you know, un unrelated to any of these previous candle patterns or actual prices, right? I mean, you can call it coincidence or what, but I've been watching this long enough to think, in my opinion, the probability is beyond coincidence that it's finding support right here off of your 19, right? So as we lost this, we tried to get support on the 9, couldn't hold the 9, came right here to the 19, we caught support, and now we're moving back up. So we can see how price literally reacts to this 19. Just wanted to show that. So we're going to switch over to a weekly chart. Oh, hold on. I got somebody in here. Let me add them to the screen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. if you can hear me, all you have to do is go off mute and you're free to ask any questions you may have.
All right, brother. I'm here. I'm just listening right now, learning.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna just kind of continue as I go along, and if you have something, just jump in.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. So now I'm going to switch over to the weekly chart because this is the more important chart for our long-term direction and where we're going outside of just kind of daily volatility. So we see down here, it would appear that we don't have a support, but I'll show you that actual support here in just a minute. Um, but the important thing is, right, we kind of appear to be getting this momentum change. The three flattened out on a longer time frame, started working itself up. The nine became our resistance. So again, this is not related to previous candle patterns and other, actual prices, right? Your price is literally responding to this next moving average, which in this case is this nine blue line. So we're needing to break this and make our next kind of longer move up, and that's what we're waiting on. What will help this is this price action continues to go up and we see the three cross over this nine, and we'll be getting what we're looking for. The actual long-term trend turns right here at 28,459 when it breaks the 19 on a weekly chart. So that's the biggest indicator that we're waiting on right now, is watching this price as it gets to this point, and then we'll know the long trend is turned, and we can expect, start taking on these moving averages and potentially getting the price discovery range here at 36,000. So this is how we follow the health of Bitcoin right now. Just pull up these indicators that I have, and you can see in real time what the health of the asset is. So holding above the three is a positive sign, and we got a squeeze play going on because this three is starting to squeeze price in between the three and the nine. So this is going to have to kind of break up or break down at some point, but we got the momentum going in favor. So that's the update on Bitcoin. I'm going to switch to XRP because obviously a lot of people who know me from the XRP community. Oh, quickly, let me go back though. I want to show how you can find that support, because a lot of people are talking about what's going to be the bottom and if we're going to go lower and is this just a fake out, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to be able to show people how to locate bottoms as best as you can. Now, any support can break, but with this method, you'll actually be profiting at, if it happens to go any lower, but at least you get these visuals to know where bottoms potentially are. So if you're really conservative and you're trading off a kind of a monthly chart, right, your exit would have been here when it broke the 19, and you would have stayed out because you didn't have anything challenging any, move back up, right? Your price came way down here. You bought, you're looking for rejections at this point, right? So there's no more selling. You bought down in this range, and now you're looking to see if you're going to get rejection. So you're taking on the three. But as you can see over here on the monthly chart, your supports are visually indicated without having to change any of your indicators using just this one formula. Your bottom came in right here at this second to lowest support that'll pop up using these EMAs. So we knew where our potential support was months ago because these lines were already here. We didn't have to guess. So it would have to lose this blue line here at about 18,000. And then our potential next support would be this kind of 16,000. And then we don't have a moving averages under that, right? So I would comfortably say that this, 15 or so range would be the bottom of Bitcoin that will probably the lowest low that we will see. Now, of course, if if you're already in because you bought this bottom, right, and you're looking for rejections, well, if you start to lose, these EMAs, which on your daily will probably correspond, then you take back out looking to catch here or here as you go down, right? So if it starts to break down, you're going to have these exit points where you're profiting. Same thing here. Like if you even get down here and it happens to lose this support, you'll be exiting. And doesn't matter how low it goes, it go to 3,000, you're just going to gain more Bitcoin. So I just wanted to show how you could find those supports without even having to change your number, and always have this visual so you know what the potential is in the trades that you make. So I'm going to switch over to XRP right quick. Let's see here. An interesting thing quickly, since I'm already on the monthly chart, is again, you have your bottom identified with the same formula. So your last exit would have been here when it broke the 19. It broke all the way down and found the last support, right? So this is again how you can find very good supports, right? Or if you want to call them bottoms, because that now it is the bottom, but you got that great visual to know what you're dealing with. It's taking on the 3 exponential moving average and kind of rejecting off of it a little bit. So what we need to see is this break above the 3 and start to take on these resistances. We zoom in on the shorter time frame. I'm gonna go to the daily for XRP, and so if we took our entries off the bottom, they were when this daily started to break above the 18. So we had, all these breakdowns, but we saw these breaks, right? So this would have been an entry point. You'd had to exit, but you picked up more XRP. You'd had to take another entry here. Didn't last long, but it broke down. You picked up more XRP. You took your entry here, well, actually here and here. So you had 2 trades. Made some appreciation off of it. Turned around and had to exit again here off of some of those profits, picked up more XRP. Your entry point again was here, and today you're holding that actual support at 19. So it's amazing how the price comes back to this 19 and always finds support, and you can actually see how it was using these successive EMAs as resistance as we work our way back up, right? Like each step along the way, it's rejecting off of it, coming back down, getting support, moving past. So we know that this next one it'll try to take on is up here at, let's say, 43, 44. So the most important thing to know now is if you took these early entries on the daily chart, we got a cross that kind of gave you a good indicator that was a good move to make. Your out price is still here at 36.14. So if you lose this daily, you want to be taking at least some position in cash, right? So you can start to pick up those free XRP. So again, got good support today on the 19. We're above the 9, taking on the 3. We want to prevent this white line from crossing here. Otherwise, we'll start getting that momentum going back down. But so far, we're looking good. I'll quickly switch over to Ethereum. Almost the same setup. Good breakout back here where you took the entry. Had a little exit here, but quickly got back in because it recovered. And you're going up here taking on that last EM. So as you could tell by the visually looking at this formula and the EMAs, Ethereum is stronger at this time than Bitcoin and XRP, as they're down here taking on these lower moving averages, where Ethereum is already up here at this last one on the daily, trying to break out into that region where it turns the weekly into the trend right upward. So if we mark that out, we're talking about 1774, and our weekly pivot point can't be too far off. So let's go identify it. Our weekly pivot point that we want to ultimately break is 1905. So that would be your long-term trend reversal. Unless it breaks back down and goes out, of course, you would just take your exit point and start picking up more asset with these appropriate resistances ahead. So it's not going to be an easy path through here, but at least the trend will have turned here at 1905. So I'm gonna take a little break in case you got a question or you have an asset that you kind of been trading or accumulating, and I'll pull that up on the chart as well. So yeah, man, if you got a question, go ahead. It's a good time.
I'm messing right now. I'm messing around with Zilliqa, bro.
Okay.
If you could tell me about that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now. So it's ZI. What is it?
ZIL.
L. There we go. Zilliqa. Let's pull it up.
But is that based on Tether, or would you do that on USD, or what would it matter?
It won't matter. So I can pull it up either way if you like.
Okay.
I just pulled it up.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
As long as the concept's there, brother.
Yeah, and I'll explain why I use Tether, right? Because again, we're talking about price discovery, and the volumes per asset are kind of like what has the most influence, right? So Tether is going to be your highest volume currency into Zilliqa, so it's going to have the most influence, and so that's why.
But let me ask you, would that matter if, let's just say, because I've seen that Tether doesn't work with certain tokens and USDC works with certain tokens. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm asking, like, would it work? And would it be just better to do it on?
I'm going to pull them up both, and we can look at the visuals, and then we can kind of determine. So look at where we're at now with the USDT, right? And so we had, this is a weekly, so we had kind of a big break here of the 19, because this theory revolves around the 19 break. So we had the big break here. That was your entry. We had the exit right here. So you would have picked up a lot of good Zilliqa taking this exit here and coming down here It's now fighting against this 9 above the 3. Our ultimate point we want to get across is here at 0.05, right? So this is where we're sitting at. But if we go down to a little shorter time frame, let's take a look on the daily.
Well, if you trip out on this, I got this when they were worth about 1/10 of a penny. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's
a good move.
Years ago, so I'm holding, brother.
Yeah, no, it's a good move, but this thing will actually kind of like give you, especially if you've accumulated a lot at this point. So it'll give you an opportunity to start picking up some more coins without more money as it makes some of these fluctuations. So like here on the daily, we had the entry here, took on this EMA. We had a clear exit. Well, we had a few of them in here on this daily. This is why I like sometimes to go to a weekly, but we had a few trades here on the daily. Let me get this stuff out the way. But boom, y'all, we actually had our kind of last exit here, picked up some more entry here, and it's catching support right on this 19 once again, right? So it's interesting that how when we say the market kind of moves together, like every asset right now is catching support on the daily right at this 19, no matter which ones. They all have similar patterns. They just may be at different points of where they're at in these resistances, but the patterns are almost identical. So it's saying catching support here on this 19. So it's in the positive range. It's even above the 3. Right, the 3 is not even threatening across the 9, so this has got positive momentum. It just needs to work through these resistances. But if at any point, you know, I lost this 04077, I'd be trying to pick up some more Zilliqa for free and wait for the next break. But yeah, I'm gonna pull it.
I got them staked, so I'm just receiving them every day, bro. So it's cool, you know.
Yeah,
I'm on that 20 or 15% APY right now on that my Moonlit.
Hold on, let me pull up the dollar one, right, so we can look at it against the dollar. All right, so as you can tell, it's exact same pattern. So it doesn't matter whether you're using Tether or USD in this case, it is the exact same pattern sitting in the exact same place. So it's, yeah. All
right, man, sounds good.
So, but yeah, if I go back to the weekly, and this is what I'm saying, this is the 15% is good, right? But if you look at, so I trade mostly off the weeklies, right? I'll catch entries on the dailies a lot of times because that's where you get the early entries. But you know, when you're looking at it from a weekly standpoint, man, these are just, you know, and again, I'll cycle through some other assets to show you how consistent my method is. But here was your clear, well, actually, it jumped back up, came back over here, and then lost it here. So your exit point would have been here if you're just disciplined and using the method that I use. And so you'd have picked up literally comfortably 60% more of the asset by making that trade. So it's like interest is good, bro. But at the end of the day, catching these moves really, really can expand your bag with just some knowledge of knowing when to take these exits.
Right, right.
So that's the critical thing. Like I developed this during a bear market because I was trying to find like there has to be a better way than just taking, even though they're unrealized losses, right? If you're not selling out at lower than you buy, but you're missing out a very good opportunity to expand your portfolio in a positive way, right? Rather than having even the unrealized losses that happen during these moments. So I could kind of go back historically because I like to show people like the consistency over time in these methods, right? And so we can go back in this case. We'll go back as far as we kind of can.
Yeah, I was way back there.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, if you kind of look at the performance, even over some long periods of time, like when the 19 started becoming tradable, you had a break. Let's hear. I'm gonna move over and zoom into it so we can see it a little better. So you had a breakdown here, it recovered. You had another breakdown here. It says 2 trades, 3, 4. You had 4 trades in this little short period of time. But ultimately, if you stayed disciplined and made each one of those trades, you came out. Let me get it. You came out, we'll say right about here, and you essentially went down 80%.
Okay.
So you could have picked up 80% and never really threatened the 19 again. So you had no indication to get back in, right? Because it didn't even threaten the 9 as it took that drop, right? So you clearly know all you have to do is stay disciplined to the rules, and you picked up 80%. So then you come over here, had a little quick in and out, which is a net trade because they're at the same price. So you didn't lose anything there. It broke down again here when it lost to 19. So I'm going to zoom in on that. let's see. So our next exit would have been right here because it broke the 19 again. And so you ended up picking up another 76% of the asset.
Well, that's where my entry level point was at, right there. Like you're at that bottom, bro. Like that bottom point right there. I got it. Like
Yeah. I'm just trying to show people how easy it is to use this method to profit, though, right? Because you had no reason to get back in. It never broke back above the 18. You had a clear exit, easy 75%, right? Like with no problem. So if we follow this in time, right? We had another entry here, exit basically at the same points. That's a net trade, but then you picked up more of the asset. All of this stuff that you picked up, 80% more, another 80% more, ultimately come back here and breaks above the 19 where you put it all back on the table. And then look what happens. You basically kind of go to the moon, right? You have an entry here, an exit here, but another quick entry here. So if we use this as the entry point, right?
And that's based on the weekly, right?
Yeah, this is on the weekly. So we kind of grab this and then move up on that last entry point, you pick this up to the tune of let's go back down right in this area. So we're talking about 1,200% on that entry. And again, it never broke the 18. So if you're using the method, you had no reason to get out. All you have to do is just stay disciplined to the rule, and you shot straight up to 1,200% by using this method. No arbitrary, no subjective, guessing, right? Just hard metrics, using it in 1,200% right off the rip.
Yeah, I got rid of them I got rid of some at 20 cents. That's for when I started at 1/10 of a penny. You know what I mean? Because I forgot about that wallet, and I was like, wait, hold up, I got that too.
Right now, remember 20 cents because I'm gonna go back to something. But if even if we're using this weekly chart, right, you would have had a clear exit here, right, and it wouldn't have been at the 20 cent where you got out at. But then check how the rule, if and consistency of the method, right? So this was your clear exit. It broke down to 19. And then you picked up another comfortable 60% of the asset. So like it's going to keep giving you these opportunities to pick up and stretch your bag every time it makes these breakdowns. So here's another one over here. So let's see what that pickup would have been. We come over here. This was another breakdown of the 19. And bam, you picked up another comfortable 60%. Like each one of these breakdowns is starting to be comfortable 60%, right? It's crazy. And then you had to break up here where you would have put everything back in and bam, and then you break down, and that's probably another 60%. So like, man, this Zilliqa would have been easy to trade, man, to make some money. I don't trade Zilliqa stuff, but yeah, just looking at the chart, that would have been a real easy one to kind of like manipulate through. But yeah, remember you said 20 cents. So I'm gonna go to the daily right quick and show you something.
The only reason why I got into Zilliqa, bro, is because I didn't even know nothing about crypto at the time. My boy was just telling me about XRP. XRP was my first bag, and then Zilliqa, I seen it. And I was like, "What is this 1/10 of a penny thing?" You know what I mean? Just drop some money on this real quick, and sure enough, and their ecosystem got big too. So that's all. I was like, "Whoa."
So let me go back in time because it's got a lot of moves up in here. What was that? Shit. Let's go back. Let's guess it's over here. So when it ran up over here, if you were on the daily and they broke down on the 19, the breakdown essentially happened. The last breakdown happened right about here. So that last breakdown was at 19.93, almost exactly where you got out at. And it never threatened the 19.
Good move. And this is my first time trading too, bro. So I did some good moves, I guess. I got in with SafeMoon too when it started in April, and that thing shot up to $2. I threw in $20, $30. That shit shot up to like 2 racks, bro. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah. But see that? So I'm just trying to give you some, pointers, man, going forward. You have something to kind of look at because when it broke that 19, bam, like that was a great opportunity to increase your bags. You ain't even putting in no new money, right? And then even here, you can see how it's responding to this EMA as it rejected, lost it again. You picked up a lot more of the asset. And the pattern just kind of continues, right? You have a net entry and exit around here. You have a clear break up here. Get this out the way. You have a clear break up at this point here when it broke the 19, and you rolled that back up here. We had a clear breakdown, and you picked up more of the asset. Like, it's just consistent. The only thing is, as you can see on the daily on this asset, you have a lot of different trades that you have to make. So to eliminate having to make all of those trades, that's when I kind of go to a weekly chart. So I don't like having to do a lot of trading. What happened? Okay, there we go. And to kind of avoid having to make a lot of those trades that you see over there on the daily, it just becomes one exit, you know what I'm saying, and one entry. And now I would be just looking for a rejection. If it rejected this, then I'd take some off the table and see how far it goes down until it breaks back above. So yeah, I mean, it works. Here, I'm gonna quickly just show you something, because I don't think I showed maybe Ethereum, but it literally like works with any asset, and they're all kind of in the same place. So here it is, Ethereum. You got the very same dynamics going on.
Right.
You had your clear breakdown over here. And if we grab that and see what you could have picked up on this move out, that was an easy 72%.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So I had been recently watching Quant, because it's kind of only one that has broken above the weekly right here. It broke above the weekly, and so it's in a uptrend that, until it drops back below this 19, right? This was in an uptrend, so it's kind of dragging the market up right now, going against the rest of the market, or leading it, I should say. But yeah, interesting enough, it's one of the only ones that has broke back above the weekly 19. And we could see, boy, when it broke down and never got back above. So like it literally works, man. People are, kind of question whether TA can be useful. But yeah, if you pull this stuff up and see how it actually performs over the history of these assets, it's not like I'm grabbing any one period of time. Clear breakdown here, you picked up a lot more Cardano, right? If we go back in time, we see where the breakout was. We saw it break above the 19 here. Now was your time to put all in, and boo, you blew up to the moon, right, off of that move. So it works with literally any asset. I tell people, like, I can even go to gold, or securities or whatever. And it doesn't matter what the asset is, it's going to still perform the same. So if you were trading gold, you had a clear exit here, you could have shorted the shit out of gold, made a whole bunch of money.
But on let's just say I'm back on the crypto side, but is everything following Bitcoin at that point?
Well, that's a good question, man, and it's kind of a complicated answer, so I'm gonna take a stab at it. So back in the old days, the market did follow Bitcoin because most of the activity, like to buy these altcoins, you had to buy Bitcoin first, right? And then you buy your asset. And then a lot of those people were taking those profits and then rolling them back into Bitcoin, right? So you did have this correlation with Bitcoin and the market. At this point, because most people are using these exchanges like Coinbase and Binance and others where you don't necessarily have to do this, I don't think the entire market is per se following Bitcoin. I think what you're witnessing is whoever is the major buyers in this market are moving the market, and they're allocating their funds across these assets, right? So everything moves pretty much at one time, because when they start to unload money into space, they might say, okay, I'm allocating 50% of what I'm going to put into Bitcoin, 15% Ethereum, then whatever across these other assets, right? And so when the money flows in, it kind of pushes them all. But Ethereum, interesting enough, seems like it has actually broken away from Bitcoin. So a lot of people are not talking about this, but if you kind of look at these charts, and I'll see if I can find a Bitcoin pair. Let's see this one here. If you kind of look at the performance of ETH to Bitcoin, right? We go back in time. ETH got a bottom here against Bitcoin, broke above that 19, and has been actually outperforming Bitcoin since 2020. We're talking about December of 19. So Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin for over 2 years, but most people don't talk about it because they're not really chart people and they don't, pay attention to what's really going on with the price action. But yeah, it came down here, broke down, caught support on our lowest support, broke back above the 19. So right now it's strong against Bitcoin and has been that way for over 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my Ethereum at $500.
Yeah. So again, people talk about the tech and all that, and some of the criticism is real, right? But from a market perspective, I could just look at a chart. If somebody would say, "Hey, man, give you a heads up, Ethereum's breaking a 19 over there on the weekly," and I could have saw this, grabbed in, and made this run. So I let the charts do all the,
that old saying, man, numbers don't lie.
Right. Men lie, women lie. These numbers don't. So like, I try to, some people that I do kind of communicate with, I'd be like, hey man, if you happen to be watching an asset that I'm not watching, and you see this set up on a weekly chart getting ready, not only was it a price cross, but again, you had that's why I have these other numbers up, like on my indicators, because they tell a story too. So we saw the 3, basically V off this support, and then the 3 crossed over the 9. The 9, the blue line, didn't cross under the 9, so we had clear indication that we got some strong momentum that was going to happen here, and sure enough, it did. Price got above that 19, and that explosion happened. So it's like that's why I have these other numbers up, because they're helping to tell a story.
So my buddy, he be training on the daily with the stocks and stuff, and he told me something about the death cross. I didn't really pay attention too much of it, but do you know of it?
Yeah, so essentially, like they're using death crosses in particular to like the 21 cross and the 50 and stuff like that. But if anytime, just by rule, right? So now that you can know this, but by rule, anytime a lower number moving average is crossing over a higher moving average, it's a momentum in that direction. So this is a 3, this is a 9, this is 18. We can see like even here, the 19 crossed above this 50, right? So you're looking anytime for these lower moving averages to cross higher moving averages, meaning the number of the average, right? And then you can see how it changes the momentum. So just like in this case, it changed the momentum to the upside. If we go over here, right, like the 3 didn't cross here, it bounced off the 19, it got momentum to go back up. But we start looking what happened over here. You got the 3 crossing the 19 and the blue crossing. So it went all the way down here, crossed back. You got the positive momentum again, and then all of them crossed, right? So the 3, the 9 started to cross the 18, and then started to cross all these other ones. The 3 started to cross all the way down here. So it's just giving you this visual that all this momentum is staying steady to the downside until you got here. And then the momentum switched because you see the 3 crossing back above all these moving averages. So it gives you clear visuals of which way your momentum is swinging. So if I was predicting a downward price on this ETH against Bitcoin, I would have to see this 3 start to cross back above these, and then I would know, okay, we get momentum to the downside. But it gives you clear visuals so that you don't have to guess. You don't have to draw all these trend lines. You don't have to put, pull up all. I simplify trading, man, to something that anybody with just a small bit of knowledge can just look at where it's at in relationship to these nines and easily, outperform anybody else in this space that's trying to trade.
Got it. See, my the way I enter myself into any crypto is I see the big picture from the beginning to end, and then I just look at them cups that form at the bottom, and I see that the all-time high hasn't been hit again with those prices. Like, I'm just feeling like on a bigger scale, that little momentum we went up was that momentum we went up when it was Ethereum, when I got at 500, went up to 5 racks. You know what I mean? So I look at that big picture. So right now, that 500 right now is that 1,500 right now, so that it's worth right now, or 16. And then I buy right now, because I've been buying right now at this point, even at that 900 point that it just happened, I started buying there because I know at this point, like, it's going to probably go up 3 times from that, right. 4 times, So that's the way I look at it, because I like trading. To me, bro, I like holding and stuff, because I like holding assets, knowing the fact that they have a utility case with it, and it's popular with anything. I just look out for the news if it's going to start crashing or if there's some crap happening behind the scene, and then that's when I pull out no matter what.
Yeah, but see, that's very subjective, right? So sometimes, news can send you in the opposite direction. So that's why I'm trying to teach this method so people can have solid indicators that they don't have to be as arbitrary about, right? So like you were saying, you were buying in this low range, right? Well, if you look over here on the EMA, it literally was at your support. So just like you did it kind of on your own way that you came about it, if you were using the method that I teach, like you would have had this obvious indicator to buy here because it's literally sitting on your second to last support. So this is a buy region. You see what I'm saying? Like you don't have to be subjective about it at all. You can come over here and look at any time and say, oh man, well, it lost here, caught down here. This is your buy range. You don't, this is pretty much your bottom. And if you happen to lose it, you would definitely start loading up around here, but that's pretty much the same area. It's not much difference between here and here. So this is your buy range right here. Absolutely. But you have indicators that let you clearly see, and so part of the reason I'm kind of like, again, showing this is because there are a lot of influences on, these YouTubes and other places, and they'll be saying, oh no, well, Bitcoin's going down to 3,000 and just wait and buy it at 3,000. Well, I mean, do you know for a fact it's going to 3,000? Like, that's my whole point. Like, they'll tell you this stuff, and it's just kind of like you said, math. If you got something that shows 3,000, then show me your work and how you came to the conclusion of 3,000. Because I can come over here with my method and show that these were the clear supports, and as we broke down through them, the lowest support would have been here. So I'm not calling Bitcoin anything under 15.5, period. Right. And then if you look back historically, you can see exactly why I'm calling this, right? Because here, back in the old, bear market, we broke down, and what did it do? It caused support right here, right on the moving average, right? This is not, if you did probability statistics, the probability of it doing this consistently forever is just beyond coincidence, right? But anyway, even when we had the big breakdown of 2020 COVID, right, it lost the red support and went to what at that time was our lowest support that we had. So we seen it came right here to that baby blue line. This white line didn't exist at that time. So this was our lowest support. So the EMA actually identified the support, right? But then this new one comes in, right? So it could become your new potential bottom because you have a new lower EMA. And when the breakdown happened, right, we didn't actually touch the lowest EMA. We used the very same EMA to get support on that we caught at the lowest dip we ever had here at COVID, which was $3,000 Bitcoin. So as this moving averages move up, right, your bottoms move up because this is the average over time. Like, it's math, literally, you know what I'm saying? So like, just as this was your bottom, this is still your bottom. The only difference is that your bottom got drug up by this price action that caused it. Kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, brother. I see what you're talking about.
So yeah, it's been wonderful for me, man. Because like I said, I can, when everybody else was trying to guess, when the exit. Of course, this would have been a late exit on your monthly chart. But even still, if you took a very conservative exit on the monthly chart, price broke down here, and that was an easy 52% pickup. So like, that's where I get my wins at, man. Like, imagine, for the people who hold in, just for math's sake, right? People who are holding one Bitcoin on this day, right? If they exited here, even if they exit with just half of their Bitcoin, saying like, I'm not going to sell it all, right? Well, bam, if they exited here and picked up 50% more on that half of Bitcoin, right? They picked up another 25%. So when they rebought down here, now they own 1 1/4 of a Bitcoin, right? Just that quick in that move, which is the end profit now going as it goes back up. So this is why I try to share this information, man, because it can change everything in the performance of your portfolio.
Yeah, I just feel that a lot of emotions run the system right now with this. And it's kind of like, because I see what you're talking about, definitely, bro, because I come from not a business family, but like, kind of like selling, we used to sell, buy low, sell high. So I already know the whole situation of getting that wholesale price. You know what I mean? So right now it's out, it's a little above wholesale price, but get it now while it's hot. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like I said, I've been dollar cost averaging since 2017. So I'm always trying to, fold money into the market. But, at least these things give me some indicators of like, how to manage my portfolio. So I'm always trying to, layer in some bread, but I don't want to get caught, like even if you're a dollar cost average, and let's say you buy every month on, one of those disciplined DCA people, right? Well, you're buying here, you're buying all these buys that you have, right? Buying here, and you're getting profit off of each one of these buys. So it looks great when you're doing it, right? But then you get to a moment like this, and out of all of these buys, you see what I'm saying, that you made up here, bam, you start in negative territory, right? Boom, 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 boom. So now you start to get better price for your recent buys because price is going down, but you kind of at a loss on all these buys that you had up here. So to make this shit just efficient, right? At least to kind of come out here, and even on your previous buys, now you're starting to turn those into profit, right? Lowering your average cost for your portfolio. So
let me ask you. So when you trade it back in and get your I don't know, you put it back in a stable coin, turn it back into fiat. Like, let me ask you. So like, let's say I want to keep it all on crypto. I want to keep it on Tether or USDC. Like, am I going to be seeing any taxes from that point? Like, if I keep it in that area, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about Coinbase. I ain't talking about Uphold, Binance. I'm talking about like one of them decentralized exchanges. Will I be dealing with taxes with that?
Okay, so I got to preface this question by saying I'm not a tax expert, lawyer, or financial advisor anyway. But from my understanding of how it works, that anytime you make a trade into profit, it's a taxable event, right? So you kind of have to just kind of keep up with, what your gains and or potential losses is, that matter, because your losses could also have an effect, right? Because they could be kind of written off in a sense. So each, exchange that you ever make, right, particularly into profit, is a taxable event.
Even in a decentralized world.
Well, in a decentralized world, what the implications of that is, hold on just one second. What the implications of that are, I mean, they can't tax something that is unknown to them, right? So if the wallet is unknown to them and the trade is unknown to them, right, then they're not going to be looking for any tax off of it, right? Because it's just
that's all I need to hear, bro. Yeah. You ain't got to say much more. I already know.
Yeah. Real talk.
Because real talk, bro. I've been getting my stuff. I was getting my stuff on a centralized exchange at first, and I was like, but now I'm like, you know what? Whether I want to get mine now on a decentralized world, whether I got to buy a minimum of $300 instead of me getting a $10 a come up on Coinbase if I wanted a piece, so it's just like, you know what, I prefer that 300 instead, because I'd rather be not seen, you know what I mean? So
it makes a difference in the world. The only thing I would caution you in is people who do forensic analysis on these transactions, can definitely draw connections to a wallet if you're making any transactions in or out to that particular wallet, right? So let me give you an example. Let's say, for instance, you have some Ethereum on, that you purchased on Coinbase or Uphold, right? So you bought it with your fiat, and then you transferred it to this other wallet that you're going to engage with the DEX on. Well, now you've identified your DEX wallet because you made a withdrawal from Coinbase to that wallet, right? So they know about that wallet in that scenario. So just kind of like, there are ways to kind of keep a wallet unknown, but if you're making from an exchange in or out from that other wallet, right, then you've identified that wallet. So just be aware of that.
Right. No, I got that already. That's why I was like skeptical on these things, so.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, man. I'll be listening to you when you get up on that Ledger Live, bro. I'll be hearing you, Dougie. So, I'll be paying attention to your words. So I appreciate all the information you be giving out, G. So it's cool, Dougie. You got love from Cali out here, brother. So
you in Cali?
Yeah, man. I'm in SFV. I'm in LA area.
Oh man, that's what's up, man. I used to go down there every summer, man, in my real youth. When I was young, because my first cousin stay out there, so I'm kind of familiar with the area. It's been years, but I do follow up with some of the people that I find interesting, man. Cats like they're still out there, man, doing their thing. So I get
definitely. See, I'll be roaming the streets. I'm over there on Slauson and Western, like for work. day on a daily, you know, and I'm all around LA. So, but I literally stay in the valley, so I'm cool with that. Man.
Yeah, they didn't took over social media, man. Like them brothers out there, man, especially in that area, boy, they all over social media talking about little hood politics. They are, man.
I feel you, dude. I know what it is, man. The G code ain't the G code no more, man.
Yeah, cause I kind of listen in. I don't know if you know Spiderloak, but I kind of listen in on Spiderloak every now and then. And he tried to, stay a little bit away from it, but it's still like a lot of hood politics being broadcast to the world, man. Whack 100 and all them niggas, like they just putting a whole lot of business out there, man.
I know when they're talking about how Tekashi 6ix9ine is this, they doing the same thing, following the hype, bro. But if it gives them more publicity, that's what they want.
Yeah, but it's a dangerous game, man. Cause like I said, I ain't even out there, and I could probably tell you over 24, names. That's loosely affiliated in some kind of way, and that's a lot of information to be putting out there, man. You know what I mean? Like you toss some names up, but you identifying people at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's not right. It's dry snitching in other words.
That's what we called it, man. You hit the nail right on the head. That's that dry snitching. Like, come on, man.
Bro. I'm from the 80s, dog, but my brothers is from the 70s and shit. So I how that rolls. I didn't watch Voltron, but I knew about Voltron. You know what I mean? So it's like it was because of them. I know all this shit. So it's like, but it's all good, man. That's why I'm an old head and a young body, G. So
got you. Yeah, I like to attend those spaces, man, because again, there's a need for diversity of opinion in some of these rooms. Because if it's not right, what tends to happen is you start to get this kind of like confirmation bias, and everybody's kind of leaning the same way. Nobody's kind of giving any different perspective for people to see. There is two sides to a lot of this stuff, right? So a lot of times I like to join to add some diversity of opinion to this stuff. And some people don't dig down into how this stuff actually works either, right? They just kind of hear the broader context of how it works, then they think they know. And so I like to kind of like give the details so that people don't have these false expectations.
There's a bunch of sheep out there right now, dog, bunch of sheep. That's how I look at it, man. But like what's his name said, Fabulous said, I'd rather have 10 lions than 100 sheep, man. You know what I mean? So I'd rather be on with you, listening to what's going on that's good. Besides a whole mob telling me that this meme coin is going to be making this happen. It won't make, look, I feel that it's going to make it happen, but you're going to see me get in real quick, and I'm going to take that liquidity real quick, and I'm out.
Right,
so,
right.
So that's it. I don't believe in the project, but thanks for the money.
Exactly. And it's crazy because, in this space, man, you have people that sometimes they think, selling an asset at any point is some kind of dirty word. It's like, man, come on, man, y'all got to get off of that. Like, that's what these assets are for. If you get, 300%, 400% off of your money, off of, I don't care what it is, like you said, Doge or Shiyu or whoever, right? Take your lick, man, and keep it moving. Trying to hold that
your money. It's your money, bro. That's what it is. SafeMoon was my biggest one at that time, bro. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, I dropped in like $60, bro. I should just made me 2,500 racks. 2,500, and I was like, what the? Let me get this shit off here real quick. That's it. I just came in with 60. I didn't have this in my pocket, so just let me grab that right now. Oh, it's going to the moon. It's going to the moon. Hell no, that shit went straight to the cemetery, homie. So I already seen that. Like, nah.
How is the sentiment with other cats, kind of like, street cats as far as like the crypto move out that way?
I got well, look, out here is more like everybody's all vigilant with their money. You know how that goes. But like I was trying to get into Bitcoin like in 2012, bro. I had gotten to settlement. I was trying to get in and nobody wanted to teach me. It's the black market. Oh, this and that. I'm like, what? Man, I got racks here, bro. Like, let me get some. I was looking at it when it was at 200. Now everything's all secretive. You know what I mean? Same thing with my other homie. Right now, at this point, he's the one that got me back into the crypto, and he showed me how to get that XRP bag. So I said, oh, shit, let me jump on this real quick. Okay. Next thing you know, he's the guy that's kind of like XRP only. Everything's gonna be shit, and I'm like, look, dog. I told him to jump on some some of those Ethereum projects that were coming out. He's like, nah, Ethereum's going down and everything. And I'm like, look, bro, whether Ethereum's going down or not, you got things that are working with the system right now. And if they're working with them, bro, you got to understand that it's going to be viable. It's going to be open. Like the Flare that's Ethereum, ain't it?
It's a EVM, yes. It's the EVM chain.
Okay, so basically I was telling him, look, if Flare, he was talking about big about Flare Network, the Flare Network. I'm like, bro, that's Ethereum. He's like, no, it ain't. I'm like, dude, it's Ethereum, bro. Like, why do you think it's compatible? Like, Songbird don't go through. You can exchange it through the EVM network of what is it, Songbird, Flare, whatever, however it was, bro. Like, he's like, nah, you know. Now he's like, hey, how do you get Flare? How do you get the Songbird? You know, I'm like, dog. Like, you got to understand that all these things are going to be working together, bro, whether it be with the government institutions or not. You got to see who's picking it up and see what it is. You got to follow the money. You know, I don't believe just an XRP shit. Hell yeah, that's one of my biggest bags, but I got other bags too. Like, I want Zilliqa to blow up too because it's a layer one. It's a layer one. My first crypto. They scale. They're the first one to start sharding the network information, the nodes or however it works. Like, I was like, yo, they're already backed by the Singapore dollar. I'm like, hey, dog, look at this. This is real.
Right.
And Singapore's over there freaking doing a bunch of technology and shit. I'm like, yo, you got to jump on stuff like that. Oh,
Absolutely.
what did he do? He bought Zilliqa at 20 cents when I was getting out. I was like, nah, dog, what are you doing? He's like, oh, damn, I took a loss. I'm like, hell yeah, you took a loss, bro. I was telling you about this shit 2 years ago, but a bunch of people don't really want to put their money in because they feel like they're going to be taken for the money. So, because you know how it is out here, it's work, it's hustle, bro. You know, you got people selling oranges on the corner. You got people asking for money. Ain't nobody trying to freaking put money in crypto right now, dog. Cost of living out here is expensive.
Yeah,
shit,
I heard.
My mortgage just alone is $2,800. You know, just that. But the thing is, I refinanced and I had inherited the house and everything. So, but at the end of the day, you know, it's kind of like the cost of living out here ain't no fucking joke, bro. I don't know where you at, you know, but my cousin lives out of New York. And that homeboy's telling me, damn, dog, that shit's expensive out here, fool. Like, you want a fucking single? You talking about $3,500 just for a single? I'm like, bro. Like, you know, I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, like, I just educate people to get into crypto and learn how to use their money when the change of money is happening, when these CBDCs are coming in, when the banks are going to start taking in on it, like, oh, bro, you got to look at all that stuff because this new world order is coming in. And a lot of people are blind to the fact that they don't want to see. They think that old money is going to be working it in. You know, like when I don't know if you remember, but when that pandemic happened, they busted out with you got to pay with card or you got to pay with exact change. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. And my homie's like, yo, why are they doing that? I'm like, hey, bro, like what they doing right now is they trying to suck every penny out of you. They trying to get that money back out of your pocket because they don't want you to have thousands of freaking pennies and shit, knowing the fact that's $10. You know, they want that too. Oh, we don't got no change for this. What? So I got to give you my money? Nah, bro. Like, you know, they were just taxing everybody left and right. So when I started seeing and feeling all that, I was like, I started switching more over into the crypto side. You know, I was like, look, start accepting payments like this, start taking this, you know, to use this as another way. And then let me deal with my exit strategy and the fiat and the taxes. Let me deal with that. But I know right now this is working, you know, and it ain't going anywhere because they can't stop it. It's too big, bro. It's too big. It's too big out of the SEC's hand too. It's too big for America, dog. You know what I mean? Like, this is a global thing. So when you see global money coming in, why wouldn't you want to jump in on something like that? You know, why wouldn't you want to exchange one Bitcoin into XRP across the world or however the hell, whatever? I'm not talking about just those two. I'm just talking about any token. Why wouldn't you be able to want to do that? You know, like Zelle, all that stuff. That's all that instant payment shit. But that's only in America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like people around the world are dealing with these problems, and why not help that problem and fix it?
Right.
You know, and get Godfathered in
like
with
you was caught up in is exactly why, like, I like to tell people how to identify this from a chart perspective, right? Because you can buy into a lot of these different narratives and get thrown off. But if you call a homeboy and he's your homeboy, right, and you be like, look, man, I'm looking at the setup. I've been tracking it for a while, and I'm finally getting this break on Ethereum of the 19, right? Well, he can look over here and say, oh, I see that break, what you're talking about.
And if he dump in here, it don't matter what the damn narrative is. The rule then told you that above the 19, you supposed to be riding this. So bam, you come over here and ride it, and you get a clear 1,300% on your money.
Hey, but hold up. But that's not necessarily true, because what about Terra?
Terra what?
Luna.
Okay, let me show you Luna. So since you brought that up, that's a great point. So I'm gonna show you something. I've been doing this a long time, bro. So like at the end of the day,
I feel you. Hey, bro,
yeah.
I like knowledge, homie. Hey, like they say, if you the smartest one in the room, dog, you in the wrong room.
Like, check it out. So let me pull up Luna, right? Now this is a monthly chart, and I can do it off of here too. But let's go back down to the weekly, so we can get a good visual, right? So if you're one of these people that kind of bought into the Luna narrative and you were just using my trading method, right? You could have called somebody over here and said, say, bro, I'm looking at this Luna, man, and it's breaking the 19 on this weekly and getting across. You got in at $9, right? So let's go over here and pull that, right? So bam, grab the ruler, catch the $9, and that was an easy 1,000% move on your money, right? So now we know what eventually happened to Luna. But this is why I say narratives and none of that shit never make a difference if you're using my method, because you'd have been up 1,000%. And when you got here, that was your sales signal right there. So you didn't experience none of this because you had a clear by rule exit point right here at 72, and this didn't affect you. And this is why I always turn the charts, bro, because the chart at the end of the day will save you. I don't care what the circumstance is. Like, it is your go-to to save you. Like, buying bad narratives. Oh, man, no, see, they going to buy more Bitcoin and Dogecoin going to fix it. And you holding on to this shit. You lost all your money fucking with them narratives.
Gotcha.
You got this 19 right here. Like, it prevents you from ever having severe losses in buying these assets because you know, bam.
So look, let me ask you, because I keep hearing you say that 19 week, 19 what?
So check it out. Like, over here is what your indicators, how you pull up an indicator. So what I trade off is the exponential moving average. So it's this one that says moving average exponential.
Okay.
Right. And then when it comes up over here, right, you have to set what numbers that you're tracking. So you go into your settings, and the numbers that I use are the 3, 11, and the 19. The 19 is the most important. It's the yellow line. So if I take out these other ones, right, so that they don't kind of confuse, I'm gonna take them out. And
go ahead, bro. It's cool. You do what you got. All right.
Yeah, give you a visual. So if you're just looking at it without the other ones in here, like, this is what you're trading off of. So you got your in off of the 19 exponential movement here. You had an exit here. You had a re-entry here, and then you had an exit there. So at any given time, you don't have to never follow the news. You don't never have to know nothing about the damn asset. As long as you know how to define the 19, you always know when to grab the gains and when to turn and get out of them summer guns just off of this one moving average, period. Point blank, period.
That's what's up, man. I feel it, man. I appreciate it, bro. That's cool. Well, shit, on Twitter, I'm gonna get ready for work, G. But on Twitter, I'm OG King XRP, OG XRP King. So
OG XRP King.
Yeah.
No, I'll definitely be seeing you around, man. I'm gonna shut this one down too. I was just trying to do a little quickly recap, but I love answering questions, man. When you know people have a question or have an asset, so other people can see. Like, it literally works with any asset, any time frame. Like, whatever it is, like, even just quickly, man, I'm gonna show you on Bitcoin. Like, for the people who, you know, really trading, you could drop this method down, you know, even as little as a 30-minute chart or lower, right? And what's the crazy thing about my method is it works literally on any time frame. So it's just, you don't have to make a lot of trades and kind of know what you're doing. And where my damn shit go?
Yeah, because I ain't on the weekly. I'm more on the monthly. You know what I mean? I see that monthly number instead.
That's a good conservative way. I ain't gonna hold you up because now I didn't start tripping. But yeah, man, it was good having you in.
Hey, it's been working for me, man. But as long as I know I got more moves to make, I'd rather do that too.
Right. No, man, that's weird how, okay, like this one is a 30-minute chart. So yeah, just using ETH, it popped up real quick. But I can see here, like, you still remember it's all off the 19. So even here on a 30-minute chart, you have a clear entry, right? You have a clear exit, you have a clear entry, and you're not exiting now because you got support. You're still looking for price increase. So if you happen to lose this, right, you back out over here. You can kind of go back even over here, right? You had a clear exit, picked up more ETH. You can get back,
Right.
go back in time. It's consistent over any time frame. So that's the thing I like sharing, man. But thank you for dropping in, bro. Appreciate it for sure,
Definitely,
man.
brother. All right, man. I'll catch you around on Twitter, G.
Right. Stay up out there.
All right, peace.
One. Peace.